So, got this topic, gun control, from Pal Talk Radio. They sort of have a daily, kind of a daily philosophy where you can talk, and I've been able to talk a few times. And as it talked about it was about gun control and all the viewpoints, and I was just going to give you my viewpoint of gun control. And I guess I understand. I understand people. There's a viewpoint that people want to feel protected, so they should have the right to bear arms in case somebody else bears arms. Somebody else wants to shoot, you can defend yourself. And I can understand that you know we all want to live, and so we're going to defend ourselves. And if we're in a home burglary, that we have the right to defend ourselves from harm, defend it. It's a tough subject. In jest, I don't like guns. I would recommend that we not use them, that we not have them, and anyways, I did own one at one time, many years ago, and I lost it. I could never find it, but one time I did want to use it. I was suicidal and I wanted to use it, and it disappeared. And I think it literally disappeared because God said that we cannot have that device in Crystal's vicinity because He's going to use it. And that's why I've never seen it. I've never seen it again. Nobody has seen it. I have no clue where it went. It's just gone. I do believe it literally disappeared because I may have used it. And that's the problem, is that guns, when they're available, they can inflict massive harm where otherwise it'd be very little. I mean, a knife can only do so much, and people can sort of defend themselves from a knife attack. Guns, very easy to shoot, very easy to harm. It's can't defend it. It's hard to defend, and it's a really easy weapon to initiate lots of damage in a short amount of time and without much effort. So that's why I don't recommend having them around the house. It's because I've heard that kids can pick them up and use them, and that's not a good thing. It's a very docile looking device, a gun. It doesn't look like, to a kid, it looks like a toy. I mean, it looks like something, and you start playing around, next thing you know it goes off, and it can inflict a huge amount the potential of that weapon is so huge compared to what it looks like. So that's the problem with a gun. It's very deceiving looking. There's this thing, I guess it's the right to bear arms, in case the government goes awry, a tyranny of some sort, then the people will need to uprise against the government. And I guess that's part of the why this Second Amendment exists. It's not so much to defend yourself, it's to defend yourself from the government who has gone wild. And so then the idea is that we need to kill the policeman or whoever's the problem child, however big the effort is. It's hard to imagine that circumstance occurring where I'm assuming the policemen or the people in the government, the military, I assume that some of them aren't going to be following these orders. So it would be a very tough thing to be, say, like a Hitler, and order everybody to do something that's not well liked. And I'm pretty sure Hitler disguised it well. I think he used religious topics to hide the fact that he wants to kill Jews. I think there's a way to phrase it so that it becomes more palatable. I can't believe that all the Germans were all the German military were easily went into this effort, I assume they were tricked of some sort. I cannot believe that, you know, it's hard for some people to kill. It really is, and to get beyond that effort. I have a hard time believing that somehow that George Bush, could have summoned all the military to somehow control every major city in the country. I just have a hard time believing that the soldiers would allow that to occur. But somehow they did it in Germany during the World War, whatever it was, II, with the Nazis. I don't know. Maybe there's a lot of people that, you know, crossing. Maybe a lot of military were crossing the borders, getting out of Dodge. I don't know, but I can believe they can be tricked. And one trick, I mean, some trick like that would be, I'm under the impression from 9/11 that there's the third building that went down. The third building is the one. It's an FBI. It's a government building. FBI, CIA, Secret Service. And it just went down. Very controlled demolition heap. So if that can be done, if somebody in the government can conspire an entire building to come down on 9/11, controlled, and it was demolition taken down, then I can believe that 9/11 can be done from being an inside job, where somehow the government or military or somebody with a lot of power and a lot of ambition to start a war where they can gain lots of money from war funds, they initiate this, and then they kind of wash away the media to prevent talking about that third building, and they shut them, and they maybe scold their income if there's media, if they ever talk about it, and so in some sense, and I think a lot of people in the U.S. don't trust the government because of something like this. Because they don't trust 9/11, they don't trust what's happening here, and they kind of keep their mouth closed. But what's kind of happening is that in some aspect, government has initiated an attack, and then as long as they can flavor it that it was somebody else, then the people don't perceive that as an attack, and yet they don't trust them. They don't trust the government that much. So it's sort of complicated. It's deceiving. It's kind of like a magic trick, you know. It's blow something of yours up so that, and blame it on the other guy so that we can create a war. It's called there's a word for that. Hang on. It's called a false flag, where you pretend to be the enemy. You do something destructive on your own stuff, and then blame it on the enemy, or even dress up in enemy outfits and do it, and then of course blame it on Iraq or Iran or Saudi Arabia, whoever. But then blame it on the Saudis that was some terrorist attack so that we can start a war. It's in that essence, then you can almost believe that the government is awry, and perhaps the people need to have a weapon in case the government goes astray, and goes astray for good. I don't know, it's hard to imagine the military doing that unless they could flavor it such that the U.S., the citizens of the U.S., are actually dangerous. And I can't imagine such a scenario. So it really is hard to believe that we would need to hold arms in case of a government upheaval. So if say that wasn't possible, say that the government would never turn into some kind of tyranny of some sort, then if that was the case, then we wouldn't need gun control, and I would recommend that all guns be gotten rid of and collected and thrown away, burned and melted or whatever. That yes, there will be some that there will be sort of a underground trafficking of illegal guns, but at least only a few will have them. And it's those same few, well, only a few will have, and at least it makes it very difficult for a random person, a normal person, to go postal on a public if the gun's not available. And if it's only available on an illegal basis, it's going to be very rare that these shootings can occur. That going postal can occur. Now there was some talk that the idea, if somebody that wants to go postal, if they're under the impression that everybody else can carry a gun, and in other words, everybody can bear arms, then that postal dude, I shouldn't say postal, I should say something, the terrorist may think twice about using it because he might get shot himself. The problem with that philosophy is that we are a peaceful society. We do not think that we need to carry arms. And I pointed out on this panel talk that when our founding fathers in 1778 or whatever, when they created the Constitution, they were basically a bunch of idiots. I mean, our founding fathers were idiots. They didn't know. They had no idea what the internet would be or a plane would be. They had no clue. They wouldn't know what equals MC squared is. They had no clue. They didn't know what physics was. They didn't have a college. They were stupid. Our founding fathers were very stupid, and it's amazing how much creed we give to the Constitution when it has been made by people, when it's outdated, made by our great-great-great-grandfather. And they're stupid. They were riding on horses, and they were wearing holsters, guns, and I believe they're having gunfights in the street. Now, I can see you have the right to bear arms if you think that you might get shot on a daily basis. I can definitely see where you'd want to wear a gun. But these are today's times. That's not necessary. We think we're peaceful. We think we're at peace. We don't think we're going to be attacked. Thus, we shouldn't have to bear arms in order to. We shouldn't have to worry about. We're not going to be bearing arms to defend ourselves because we're peaceful. So, if we got rid of all guns, then the possibility of getting shot by somebody is only in the hands of the people getting weapons illegally. So it really minimizes what can happen. But I sort of kind of understand the point in which people want to have a gun in their household in case somebody does break in, and that's under the. I mean, I guess it's under the impression that the burglar is going to have found the gun illegally, and is going to have that, and he's going to be armed. It's just, it doesn't seem like a winnable situation. I don't think the household is going to be able to catch the burglar by surprise. The burglar is the one that's doing the crafty work, getting inside the house, and is on the offensive. Hard to believe that, if he's not intending on doing any harm, I don't think. I don't know, just assuming he's got an illegal gun, he's on the offensive and sneaking in. I guess you're sort of doomed. I doubt you have a chance of getting your gun if this burglar really is after your life. He's probably just after your money, and really you shouldn't be whipping out a gun and trying to shoot this guy for taking your goods, your jewelry or whatever. In other words, you shouldn't be killing because somebody's trying to steal something. I can see if you're trying to kill him because he's trying to kill you. Again, I think he's got the upper hand in that attack because he is sneaking in and got you totally off guard. So I'm assuming for most of the cases, he is just trying to steal. And I don't think you deserve to shoot him for that. And I don't think you'd feel happy about it. They're just stealing something, and that's replaceable. And as I hear, you have to be careful how you shoot somebody. If you're defending yourself, it has to be complete self-defense. And somebody is robbing you, your life is not in danger if there's robbing. So you got to be careful. If legally, you got to be careful of what you can shoot and kill. So, But assuming, under the assumption that guns are gone and only legal guns can be, so burglars, chances are just breaking in without any weapons of harm, and just stealing, and basically you just, I don't know, it's a tough situation. I mean, tough situation to, only thing I can guess is that you're going to catch them, robbing something in your dresser, and then you would want to disable them of some sort, but, yeah, I don't know, it's a really tough situation, because, I mean, if you sneak up on him, he doesn't know, he's just trying to get the stuff out of the dresser, doesn't know you're sneaking up behind him, and then he finds out you're there, it's like, now we've got maybe a life-death struggle, hand-to-hand combat going on, whereas a gun would alleviate the situation. It really is a tough situation, breaking into a home. I recommend, oh geez, it really, I can sort of see why you'd want to have the right to bear arms, but in general, I don't recommend it. I won't do it again.